Sandra says, hi again. 2 questions. Riley, our Keeshond, oh, you have a Keeshond? Is now 8 months old. She started barking a lot in the house for no apparent reason, even though we go for at least 2 big walks a day. Not sure if there's a way to stop her. We don't raise our voices and yell because we know that it can add fuel to the fire, and it can sometimes. Second question, which is common. How do I get Riley not to be so timid and hide behind me when she meets people? Over the course of the pandemic, she hasn't met a lot of people. She doesn't need to be a social butterfly. I just don't like seeing her uncomfortable. Thank you for mentioning that. You do watch this show because I'm like, your dog doesn't need to be friendly. No,
she's ready for you.
She's like, I'm ready. She still does need to meet her grandparents. Okay, cool, Sandra. So first off, the first question's really good. Really hard one too, to be honest. So I'm gonna start off just by saying that dogs, when they're adolescents, they start to become territorial. Not all of them, but a lot of them. And even if you just have more of an alert breed, like Labs are some of the scariest dogs to go to people's homes. Their barks are so intense. And they're just alerting. They're like friendly when you get in the door. That usually starts to develop 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 months old. So what's happening is your dog is starting to become an adolescent dog and get some of its real instincts. If your Keeshond is a little bit nervous of people, that can feed into how much she's reacting to indoor noises. So if she's hearing noises outside that you can't hear, like my little dog Happy could hear when my husband used to pull up and park in a different parking structure, like next to our building, and we were several floors up. She knew it was him. It was crazy. And just, they're so intuitive. There's so many things they smell and hear that we couldn't possibly understand. So it may seem like it's for no reason, but she's hearing something. She's concerned about something. I want to target your 2 big walks a day. What are those walks like? Are they in heel, you know, or not, just doesn't have to be heel, just a loose leash walk with you? And by with you, I mean, if you stop, does your dog stop and sit? If you turn, does your dog turn nicely with you? Are they in tune with you? I'm not saying that you have to walk like that in order to be happy, but that's what we would consider a working walk, which mentally drains the dog more. Okay, so even though I've said that, it doesn't have that much to do with your indoor barking, sorry. Your indoor barking is more instinctual. You could run this dog into the ground every day, mentally and physically, and they'd still probably bark at noises. I'm sorry about that.
It just wouldn't be as loud.
Yeah, just maybe it wouldn't go on as long and it wouldn't be as crazy. That's very true. I'm not saying that exercise doesn't matter. That's not what I'm saying. But sometimes it's a real instinctual thing for dogs. Do you want to actually go into what to do?
Yeah, I like keeping a leash on my dogs. If I do have a more reactive dog, and reactivity doesn't mean like aggression, it could just literally mean reacting with a bark to a noise.
Yeah.
So when I get that, usually what I'll do is I don't say no, dog come, or any of that, because 9 out of 10 times, unless you have a really, really solid recall or a good redirect, that's not going to do anything, and then your no loses value because you repeat it so many times. But having them drag around a leash, usually a 4 to 5 foot leash, just something that's easy to grab. I'll pick up the leash, say no, come, and then I'll add pressure and start walking opposite from the distraction, from the area of the barking. And I'll eventually get focused, and once I get focused, she might disagree a little bit on it, but I'd probably use food for a younger puppy. But for an older dog, food's probably not going to work. I think they're too much into the
Too much into it. They'd rather bark. They'd rather bark than eat food. That's what you need to decide. Does the
8-month-old is too old, probably. I think.
Try if it gives you leverage, use it. But if your dog is trying to get around the food to bark, or they don't care, or they're spitting it out, get rid of the food. Practice this with someone in the home for a bit first. That's what I say.
And you can also set it up too. Here's the thing: when you don't know it's coming, you've lost that moment because the doorbell rings and you're kind of in this panic. But if you have an opportunity to set someone up, to go knock on that door, ring the doorbell, you've already got the leash on the dog, you've got a little pouch of food if you can use it, and you're ready. So when that dog barks, that doorbell rings, that dog barks, you can move in there, grab, and then guide him away. You're a lot more ready because we call it setting up to help them succeed.
I've got 2 things for you. One, the first thing I would do is what he said. Set it up, ring the doorbell 1,000,000 times, have someone ring it 20 times, where it's like bell, dog come, place, teach place. You need to teach a target. Go to your bed, place something. Food. And then you Release the dog, break, let's go, something, here's doorbell, dog, come, place. I want you to do that 20 times a day for the next week. So 20 repetitions in a row where the dog just stays on place for food. Like they don't even want to be released. They're like, no, I'll just hear the knock and look at you for the food. So 20 repetitions a day, all condensed into like a 15-minute time span for a week. And then I want you to know that a package is coming, like know that it's about to happen organically. And then when your dog rushes to that door, after your week of showing them the alternative choice, the conditioning, right? I want you to go, hey, walk up to the front door calmly, turn and face your Keyshawn, make him give space from the door, which means picking up the leash, blocking the door, moving into him a little bit, have your food on you. And then when he kind of calms down a little bit and he maybe glances at you a few times, you got that leash pressure, hey, let's go, or come. You can say come even though he's right next to you. Then put him in place and do the food. So we've got the conditioning and then we've got the interrupter. So me going, hey, or no, one time, not over and over again. Then I'm quiet. Then I get in front of my door, get back, calm down, leash, guidance, calm down. Okay, let's go, place, food. So that's how I would do it. No, that's for an 8-month-old dog now, guys. I would suggest that for large breed dogs, 5-6 months and up. That would be my thing. Okay, the second question real quick, not to be timid or hide behind me when she meets new people. She shouldn't be meeting new people. So if you do this scenario, what I would like you, and sorry, I'm gonna unpack that. I didn't mean that as blunt as it sounded. But if you do what we just mentioned with the door, I want you to do a similar approach with people. Get her first taking food from you. That's what needs to happen first. She's feeling too much pressure to greet, and that's what needs to stop. So have people around her. First step is she's taking food from you calmly. If that's happening easily, then a person doesn't face her directly, faces her from the side. Let your dog see you give the person a treat. So they're like looking at the treat and it hands off, good. And they bend down and they just toss it on the floor, or the dog takes it from their hand without eye contact. Do that 5 to 10 times. Like right then and there, just over, good food, good food, good food. Then maybe the person can go, good girl, and see if it makes her hide. And if it makes her hide, that's okay, because then you're gonna keep doing it over and over and desensitize her of it, because you're taking this in stages. Then when the dog is comfortable taking food, still no direct pressure, still from the side, hand your grandparents the leash and just tell them to walk away. And be like, good girl, let's go. And then maybe give them a few pieces of food. And then they can walk them around the house for food. Those are the steps that you should take, I think. Do you have anything to add to that?
Nope, we got a lot of questions.
Okay, cool. Emily, Emily, question for Wednesday. 16-week mini Bernedoodle, so small breed doodle. There's mini Bernedoodles. Okay, anyway.
There are mini Bernedoodles,
has begun to bark at people passing by our front yard. The yard is where she goes and potties. I bring treats with me, reward when she looks at me instead of barking. Is that a good method? Yes, it is. Especially for 16 weeks old. She's feisty. Good luck. Also, what is best to do when she doesn't look at me and just does this incessant barking? I don't want to mess up the timing and the reward. You're very smart to do that. The last thing you want to do is put food in front of her face when she's barking. So that's very, very good. I listened to week 40 regarding thresholds. So I'm going to do that. Yep, impulse control. Do it with food too. Working under threshold means any obedience command, right? Working under threshold means you can tell if your dog knows sit and you ask for a sit and they sit and take food, they're under threshold. If they're so excited or so barking that they can't take food, they can't sit, they can't do things that you know they can do, that's over threshold. Should I reward for voluntary attention? Yes, but you don't have to make a party out of it. Every time my dogs look at me, I just, good. Should I let her watch, observe, and she chooses to look back at me, reward? Absolutely. This is a great thing to do with puppies under 4 months old. That should be like half of your training right there. Excellent. Nice job, Emily. Or keep her preoccupied. No. You actually don't want to constantly fill that need of them needing to do something. Being observers and then rewarding natural engagement, you are way ahead of the curve. The incessant barking for 16 weeks in the front yard.
I just redirect. A little bit of leash pressure, get them to look away. The second they look away, it sounds like you've already done a lot of work with food.
Yeah.
You could probably get some pretty solid focus if you get them to turn their head for a moment away from that distraction, then redirect with the food. It's different though from putting food in front of the nose while they're barking,
They're making
which
the
you
choice.
said we don't want to do.
Yeah.
It's more than looking away, making the choice to acknowledge us, and then come, good, treat.
Yeah,
good, treat.
I would like even a little, here's what I want you to watch for. You do what he said, because it may work beautifully. If it was like a blue heeler puppy or like a hardcore working dog, this is
a dog that wants food more than the attention.
Yeah, but this is what might happen is they'll turn and disengage. Good. Then reach in pocket, then give food, and then they immediately turn and have to stare down. They might not bark anymore, but they're like staring down between puppy come food. They take it like even excitedly, almost nip at you and then turn again, and you're accidentally fueling drive. So if you sense that at all from happening, you need to get up, like don't be squatting down to lure. You need to stand up, grab the leash, let's go, turn, go in the other direction, start moving, get your puppy doing some turns with you first before you pull food and give food. Maybe 16 weeks old, you do need to have it in your hand, but you don't have to give it yet, okay? So anyway, hopefully that helps. Do you want to jump into a shorter one?
We're gonna do these just because this is responses from last week.
Oh, okay, cool.
All right, we have a few responses from last week, a couple happy ones, a couple questioning ones. All right, so, ooh, Bethany, she's ready for that one. She loves when people question.
I don't know what you're talking about.
So this is from episode number 40, what tail wagging really means. Is the tail wagging always signify arousal and not happiness? I'm just asking about my 14-year-old lab mix who always wags his tail every day.
Happiness is arousal.
Yes.
Yeah.
Happiness is arousal. Arousal is just any kind of energy, like energetic response to something.
I hope, I didn't mean to be unclear about that. Happiness is also arousal.
That was pretty much it. That was the main question. Does it signify arousal, not happiness? Arousal is happiness. It could be hyperfocus. It could be pretty much anything. Mm-hmm. It's just something to watch. You get a happy tail wag. You know your dog, 14 years old. You know your dog better than us. Sweet, happy dog. Then yeah, it's totally fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
Doesn't mean aggression every time.
And then there's something, it's just arousal. It could be to get prey, which is also not aggression. It's a different part of the brain. It could be a number of things. And then it could also be too much excitement. Even though it's just happiness, it goes into overexcitement, which leads into anxiety. That's the same part of the brain. That's why dogs have a lot of anxiety issues if you nurture excitement too much. And so, you're always bobbing and weaving, figuring out the emotions. But yeah, you're good. All right.
Bethany's favorite. Okay, how to stop your puppy from sniffing everything on walks. This was also from our last video. Yes. Someone asked the question.
I love this one.
Angelina asked, what if this is my 9-month-old too?
Same thing, Angelina. Same thing. You want to get that focus on you. We want to create, dogs are literally bred for a purpose, to be put with a human, and then the human trains them what to do with all of their instincts. And so you have all of these natural instincts: killing animals, sniffing the ground, playing for, like Labradors will, they're so great at fetch. That's because they bring back animals and they have a soft mouth and they don't injure them. The craziest thing, we had a Labrador that was playing with a small dog that we have, and he was in place, and he grabbed her by the scruff and gently pulled her onto place with him. I got video of it, and I was like, and they were totally fine with it.
The feather touch.
So gentle. So just grabbed her and plucked her up, and anyway, it was really funny. And I was like watching like a hawk. But dogs have all these amazing instincts. Could be nipping at your heels because of the herding dog. They're supposed to be paired with a human to teach them what to do with all those instincts, how to control them, things like that. So I want you to have the mentality when you go out on a walk to get your puppy, your dog, whatever it is, focused on you. And when we're dealing with young puppies, we do like some eye contact focus. However, there are some herding dogs that are not good at eye contact, but they watch body language. And so they notice when you stop, they notice when you turn. That's also okay. If you have a dog that doesn't give a lot of eye contact, but they do watch your body language, that's also okay. Okay, so it's just about the dog focusing on you. So I want my dog to be able to walk down the PCH, which is a really busy street here, and if I turn, they notice and turn with me without me having to use the leash or food forever. But we use the leash and food in the beginning to teach that, okay? And then my dog gets breaks. So once their focus is on me, and they're not constantly trying to sniff the bird poop and the gum and run out into traffic because they're just not paying attention.
Infamous gum.
Infamous gum. Once they're focused on me, that's when they get a break. When they're doing really good, then I can stop. I can let them sniff in the ground. I could play fetch at the park. Like even when I go to the park, I want to make sure my dogs are heeling with me from the car to the field. If they're struggling heeling with me because they're so excited about the ball, they don't get to play fetch yet. That's how strict that I want you to be. If you have the expectations of a dog that really listens to you and really focuses on you, okay? So, oh, sure.
Hey guys, if you guys can hear us or you can't hear us, please let us know.
Yeah, let us know down in the comments. I think we're having sound problems, right? Okay guys, so sorry about that. Angelina, who asked a question about walking her 9-month-old dog. Angelina, if you happen to be on here right now, when we do the repost, you'll be able to hear the answer to the entire question. So I'm sorry about that.
How do we join?
Anyway, it takes a minute to pop up. Anyway, what was I saying? So I was honestly almost done. So we just want the focus on you. We want environmental neutrality. That's what we want to try to create. That way your dog cares more about what you're doing and what you're asking than the squirrel, the bird, the dog barking, the human who wants to come over and pet even though maybe your dog's not the most friendly, things like that. We want your dog to default to you. It's not that they don't get the freedom, it's that first you've got to have focus. So what I was saying is if I go to the park with my dogs and they're so focused on the ball, they're so excited, they're not listening to a simple heel, which I know they know really well, then there's no ball until I get them honed in and in tune with me. Otherwise, I just nurture crazy drive. And so anyway, I hope that made sense to you guys.
I want to play devil's advocate.
No,
Yes,
we don't have time. We don't have time for devil's
I don't care,
advocate.
we're doing it, we're doing it. Yep.
You only have like 19 more questions.
I'm still doing it. Okay, so a lot of breeders tell their clients, don't give me that look. A lot of vets will tell their clients, let them smell for the first month of their life. Let them get all that stimulation in their mind so they can learn to deal with their environment. What's your thoughts on that?
My thoughts on that is that for a puppy, there's a lot of truth in that. From 8 weeks to 12 weeks old, when I'm working in my yard, there's a lot of truth in that. But what starts to happen around the 8, 10, especially 12-week-old, they start picking things up really, really bad.
Exploring
every
with their
leaf, every rock, and exploring everything with their mouths. So if you're not cultivating a relationship of focus and recall for food and really building that focus, you'll have no control after just a couple of weeks of freedom in the backyard exploring their world. Exploring is great, but it should be limited. Chocolate cake is great, but it's got to be limited. Even healthy, like peanut butter. I love peanut butter, and I literally, during college, was eating so much peanut butter. I was like gaining weight. There's lots of things in the world that are good for you.
Delicious.
Lots of things in the world that are good for you, but everything should come more earned or just more limited. A puppy, like 6 weeks to 10 weeks, doesn't have to earn everything, but they need to earn some things, and it does just need to be limited, not a free-for-all all day long. So it could be 5 minutes for an 8-week-old, it could be 5 minutes of focus work, and then a few minutes of freedom, but I'm still monitoring that dog, and the moment it looks like it's about to pick something up, as an 8-week-old pup, I'm like, puppy, come, yay! I'm trying to be preventative at that point, and then I'm developing that relationship, so when we do go outside on a walk, they're not just, like this, and honestly, even if you do everything right, they're still like this, just to be clear. But at least I've got some leverage, I've got a little bit of a foundation to pull from, and I'm working towards that focus and that earned freedom. So, there you go. All right.
Good. So
cool.
The cat, basically, if you do let them sniff, it's all under your control.
Yeah.
Majority of the walk is controlled. Portions of it are sit, break, give them the opportunity to sniff, to use the restroom, whatever they need.
And that's why concrete's really important. So when I take my dogs to the park, if we're on grass, heeling in grass is something that, I don't know, maybe if I was a sport dog trainer, I could do it 6 to 8 months old, but honestly, I'm like mature dogs only, really good heeling, in grass. Usually if I'm in the grass at the park with my dogs, they're on a long leash or they're off leash trained, but for you guys, they'd be on a long leash, and every time they move out away from me, every time, come, food, break, or let's go, do some turns, turn, food. Like everything is a teaching moment. So even though they're free, they're able to experience the ground, they're able to sniff, they are able to pick up a stick and run to me. I don't care, but I'm constantly nurturing that relationship. Okay, I really am done.
Mighty dudes! As in like doodles, I like it.
Mighty
I have so many people ask why their puppy goes potty outside to only come right back inside and go potty again.
Such a pain.
Making sure they're emptying their bladders, not interrupting until they're completely done. And there are other factors that lead to this also.
Yeah.
Question mark. So a lot of times what happens is if a dog does empty their bladder outside, they see a moment of high stimulation, they might do like a little half pee, they come back inside, they use the restroom inside again. A lot of my puppies that are young, maybe we're talking 9-week-old puppies or even 16-week-old puppies, I still don't give them the freedom to fully explore the inside area off leash. A lot of my puppies, even after they go potty outside, I come in and I still have them on leash for play, training, what I call supervised separation, which is like being in a playpen. That's the only time they don't have a leash on besides being in the crate itself. A lot of the times if a puppy plays a lot, trains a lot, the more they move, the more they have to go potty.
Yep.
Which means that
5 minutes sometimes if they just had water.
And if they're on a leash, you're a lot quicker to catch the, ooh, what are they doing? They're so, puppy goes outside and you give them a chance to potty.
What was that again? I really liked that. Can I see that again, please? Yes, exactly. Do that. You should do that.
The face too. The
face, yeah. The panic and everything. You should do all of it.
I've seen many dog owners with that look. Okay, I've seen it in lessons that I've done.
My acting chops are rubbing off on you. That's what it is.
I hope I spit on you when you do it.
But it's really common. It's super common. Sometimes they do a half pee because it's cold. Sometimes they do a half pee because they watched a leaf blow by. And then they come inside and maybe they jump up on you or they're just excited and it's nice and warm and they're comfortable and they go. Some dogs will do it just because they're more comfortable inside, especially puppies that are a little bit nervous. So the on leash that he mentioned is crucial. Also, don't throw a party when your puppy starts to pee. We see this all the time, and 18 years ago, when I first started teaching, I made this mistake. It's like, go potty, and as soon as they start to pee, good, go potty!
Sucks it back in.
Suck it back in. Just when they start to go potty, just hold your breath, just relax, wait till they fully finish their pee and poo, and then, good, go potty, and then give them their reward.
You said something right there. Finish their pee and what?
Poo.
Ooh,
same with poo.
That's a big one because a lot of our owners will give affection or throw a party after just the pee. But what if they still have to poop? You're waiting for both of them. And if I don't get that and I know my pup, well, if I don't get it in the morning and I know they have to still, that poop's going to happen in your living room.
That's true.
Put them back in the crate.
Yeah.
For 10, 15 minutes.
15 minutes.
That's it.
They got water back in the crate. Their system will fully settle again. Take them back out again. So hopefully that'll help. Okay, cool.
Caffeine kicked in.
How to teach my extra mouthy 4 to 5 month old puppy to off.
Spatial pressure, leash pressure.
And leash.
Yeah.
Leash
so
pressure.
lift, step in, and maybe even once they settle momentarily, asking for a sit. And again, if you're getting a lot of nipping, you should have a pouch of food on your hip at all times when dealing with your puppy. You become the giver of food, the trainer, rather than the greatest play toy in the world that just gets nipped all the time.
But be preventative. Don't wait for them to jump on you to use it. I also, PL Peanut would like you to use place to further reinforce spatial pressure. So sometimes puppies kind of forget what spatial pressure means. It's body language. They do know it. They just kind of forget when humans hold them for a while, their first few weeks of life. So teach them place. Make it fun with food at first. Just top on, good food, hop off, then just take a step away. And when they step off the cot, leash pressure, move in, no. And when they sit, they get food. They start to learn that actually by backing out of your way, they get rewarded. And then all of this starts to circle around and filter into each other.
This is probably one of the biggest questions we get on our online school as well. And every single week, we give new, better advice on how to work through situations like that.
Yeah, that's true.
The place command she just mentioned, we have a really, really in-depth description of what that looks like
all the
and
steps,
how to get it.
all the steps. Molly the Aussie, can you begin to train a puppy at 7 weeks? Absolutely, Molly. You better. If this is an Aussie, then you better. You better do it. You better. You should have done it yesterday. But no, what
6 weeks?
But what you want to start to do is get a strong food lure. Like that's it. Just pull out your puppy's kibble. If it's eating hard kibble, put a little water in it to soften it. Just enough to make it spongy. Like you let it sit and it becomes spongy. If it's watery, then you know you did it too much. Play around and you get little spongy pieces, and you lure. What are you doing? You lure the puppy around. Just get it following food, and then have it step on a weird platform. There's a thing in puppy training called over, under, through. Anything you can get your puppy to walk over that's a different surface, under, like a coffee table.
Bethany loves this one.
Or through. It's not just me that loves it. Or through. She's a 7-week-old puppy, so it's her job to do conditioning. Or through to build confidence, or hop up on that's not too tall. Or you can even roll up a towel, have the puppy walk over the towel. Just getting, all those semantics down and following food. Targeting place, that's a good one. Honestly, all you need to worry about right now is house, targeting place, and come. So work on that for the next few weeks, along with the over, under, through. Play some noises on YouTube to desensitize your puppy to noises while they're in crate, and you will be good to go. Everything's food work right now.
You're building confidence.
And it could be 3 to 5 minutes for a 7-week-old puppy.
Instagram says that Aussie is already training you at 7 weeks.
Oh my gosh, I love you. Whoever that is, you're so
Look
right.
at your name. We're going to remember you next time.
Oh my gosh, you're so right. You're so right. Dakota, where are you going? Dakota, come here. Oh
You
no.
got a runner.
Oh no.
Come.
This is my dog Dakota, my very, very easy, silly German Shepherd, Dakota. Yes. Okay. Stella says, my 10-month-old toy poodle lately has become aggressive and biting family members. Seek a professional right away. In the meantime, behavioral modification. In the meantime, get that puppy a slip leash. It's not a puppy, it's an adolescent dog. Get that dog a slip leash. I like Mendota slip leashes, and start to have that dog on a slip leash all the time and do a lot of food work until you get that one-on-one trainer. How to stop my dog, this is from Kelm Amanda, how to stop my dog from eating pieces of trash and napkins on walks. Ooh, you should look at our puppy video that we posted recently. He's busy. You should look at our puppy video that we posted recently on, is it on IG Stories or TV?
There's no more IGTV.
There's no more.
Your breath is stinky.
Instagram videos. We just did it last week of how to work with a puppy on a walk on getting focused. That's your first step. Oh, this is smart. This was a great idea. Okay.
Her breath is stinky.
Her breath, what?
Yes.
Okay, it is not. It's not that bad. How to get a 5-month-old Aussiedoodle to quit digging. 5 months old, digging is a very natural reaction to it's a very instinctual thing. Put that puppy on a leash and prevent it as much as you can. You can try pet corrector, air squirter. You got anything else? For the digging?
What was the question?
No, we haven't. For the digging?
Digging's hard.
It's a hard
If I
one.
have a digger, I don't give freedom to the backyard.
It's tough.
Unless I have a dog that hasn't dug for like 6 months.
Yeah.
And then I start giving a little bit of trust, but my trust is easily broken the minute they dig again.
Yep.
It's a habit, and it's a really, really challenging habit because it's a natural habit for a dog.
Yep.
But when you step in 1 or 2 holes, it's not a habit that you want to promote.
No, it's not. I have seen some people successfully develop a digging area, but it takes months to teach the dog to dig in only that area. But it does
Digging
work.
area, interesting.
Yeah, like a sandbox kind of. Yeah.
We're city folk here, so I don't really have enough property to ever give my dog a digging area.
How to stop a big puppy from jumping on you. Leash and spatial pressure, meaning move into your puppy and then teach them an alternative command, which is a sit. But you got to know that the alternative sit doesn't replace the jumping. You have to make it clear, no, move in, leash pressure, calm the dog down, but you want to make sure that you have a really, really great sit because they'll start to default to that. What treats do you use for training? What do you Tiffany?
Real meat, easiest one.
I mean Tiffy. The real meat treats.
You don't like the Zooks? We like real meat.
He's just annoying me. Tiffy also said, how can you make a standard poodle sit that just won't sit? Tried all that I know. Depending on how old your dog is, you could do a teeter-totter approach. If you've already done food work and the dog is over 6 months old, you just go up with guidance here and down on the hips very gently. If you feel resistance, like if the hips are resisting the teeter, then you can't do it. You gotta soften your dog up with some more food work. Maybe skip morning breakfast and try it a little later in the day so you've got some hunger built up. Place is also actually a great way to teach sit as well, place
Some
for
dogs
sitting
can
down.
just be resilient too.
Yeah.
If you do have a really resilient dog, we recommend getting one-on-one help.
Yeah.
Because someone can help you work through a couple different solutions that maybe you think you're
In the
doing it
moment.
the right way, but maybe they have a small adjustment, even just the curve of the hand.
Yeah.
That'll get you a better one. There's a lot of small things that trainers work 10 years, their whole life sometimes, to perfect that you don't even think about.
Yeah. Why don't you do the long ones?
Yeah. 9-week. Just read it. My brain can't do the long ones right now.
Okay, Taylor Dixon, 9-week-old Bernese Swiss mix who we're trying to house train. We take her out every hour. How will we know to trust her to not make accidents in the house? Oh, months and months and months.
Yeah. Conditioning.
What are
or
some
leash.
tricks for house training? There aren't any tricks. It's schedule, rinse and repeat. Try to expand the time. Puppy has an accident or two, then you're not ready to expand time. Limiting water, crating, not giving any free time in the house.
Those are all tricks though, because a lot of
They're
people,
not.
no, a lot of people don't understand the structure schedule. I've been doing this for almost 13 years and only 4 years into it that I truly understand. I convinced myself that people don't know what it means to put their dog on a structure schedule. That's dog goes in crate, comes out on leash, opportunity for potty, doesn't go potty, goes back in for 15 to 30 minutes. Young puppy held
9
9
weeks,
weeks, so
baby.
10 to 15 minutes, maybe even 5 to 10 minutes, small
Yeah.
bladder.
If you just have water, because it's like first thing in the morning.
And you
Yeah.
rinse and repeat, putting them in crate, taking them out until they go potty. When they come out, when they do eventually go potty, wait for them to fully exhaust. Good potty, whatever your keyword is. Bring them back in on leash, and I break free time up in 3 parts: walk, play, training, supervised separation. Our schedules are tight for young puppies because everything they do is good. It needs to be on a routine.
Yeah.
They don't have enough brain power yet to like make this rational thought. Most puppies don't make a rational thought, period. To be like, oh, I'm not supposed to pee on the carpet. I've done 400 times of peeing outside and that's my routine.
Yep.
You are building routine, you are building structure.
If you want to, when the puppy is 14 to 16 weeks old, if they're doing pretty good, you could do some leash tethering to your body for short periods of time in the house. That way you can start to see the cues. If your puppy is free, they will potty on the carpet. And if they can hold it 2 hours in crate, that's about 30 minutes in the house if they're quote unquote free or they have playpen time or they're in an area or something like that. It's a lot less. So just keep that in mind. It sounds like you're doing great. It says update from last week. I knew I recognized the description. Update from last week. She's sleeping through the night, no accidents. Way to go, Taylor.
Awesome.
And she has a hot water bottle now. Thank you for all the help. That's a great idea. I hadn't thought of the hot water bottle approach.
Under the blanket usually too.
Yeah, because I mentioned the pad, which I feel uncomfortable with because it's electrical. I'm gonna take that. I love learning from clients. So thank you for the hot water bottle idea because I get uncomfortable with the heating pad because it's electrical. Awesome. Lori Valen says, I love your site and your instruction. Thank you, Lori. I have an 8-month-old lab, very rambunctious. So for clarity, everybody, we're dealing with a rambunctious adolescent, not a puppy. I tried your ideas in the house and then taking her outside. She gets so excited. Is it better to walk her by herself or can I walk with my other pup? Unless your other puppy is crazy well trained and super, super calm and can influence your puppy in a way, like if your younger dog looks to the older dog, no, you can't walk them together. No, don't do it, Lori.
It's basically a vicious cycle.
Don't do it, Lori. But I did just come across some doodles. We trained this doodle, and it was an unusually calm doodle, by the way. A little nervous, unusually calm. Trained her over a year ago. They got a new doodle. It's the same size already, of course. They're huge. And he does better with her because he's a little obsessed with her. That's a whole nother conversation. But he looks to her constantly, and she has a perfect, wonderful heel that they've managed. So in that respect, it helps me, but that's like 2% of the people I've ever known.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen that.
it was amazing. I'm not gonna lie. Anyway, should we? I had a couple more, but I think we're good. I think we've answered those before.
We'll save it for next week. So if we didn't
Okay.
answer questions, guys, we'll try to throw it into next week's thing.
Thank you for all your questions, guys, and hopefully next week we can get to more comments. But thank you for watching, and we'll see you next week, Wednesday, 1 p.m. Pacific Standard.
Thanks for keeping up
Time.
for the volume cutting out as well.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Take
Bye.
cares.